Since my dream has been to live part-time in Paris, despite having a major illness which makes traveling difficult, there are all sorts of challenges that I've needed to resolve in order to make it all possible. I learned much the hard way after my first 4-month stay in Paris, especially after I unfortunately developed several new health problems here. One of the things that I learned was that nonstick cookware, which has been the cooking equipment provided in my rental apartments here, seemed to weaken my health and make me more vulnerable to other health problems. Those health effects weren't obvious to me at first, but suddenly I had a crop of new health troubles. By a slow process of trial and error, a healthcare provider deduced that the nonstick cookware might have been playing a contributing role. The effect was perhaps something like how you don't see your hair grow, but all of a sudden you realize that you need a haircut. So, here's how I solved the nonstick cookware issue. When I arrive in Paris, one of the first things I do is to buy a roasting pan and season it the good old-fashioned way, which makes it into a kind of natural nonstick pan. First, I head to de one of Paris's most famous cooking supply stores, which was established in 1820. There I feel as if I'm embarking on an archaeological dig. I wander around the store's dimly lit aisles, lined with dark wood shelves that seem to reach up to the sky. Their goods don't have price tags on them. Instead, you need to look at the number on the shelf where the product sits, and then look it up on one of the price lists hanging on some walls. Here's the pan I bought at de Hillerin. It's made of steel and it's rather heavy. For 15.5 euros for such a good quality pan, I think it's a bargain. Before I season it, I wash the pan and then I dry it thoroughly. Then I take some oil and pour it in the pan, then take a paper towel and make sure that the entire inside of the pan is coated. Next, I take another piece of paper towel and just lightly wipe away the excess oil, but I still leave a good coating of oil on it. Then I put it in a 350-degree oven for an hour upside down. You might want to put a baking sheet underneath it to catch any oil drips. I repeat this process about 2 more times before I use the pan. Then the first 4 or 5 times I use it, I will wash it not with soapy water, but with hot water and a dish brush, which allows the natural nonstick lining to start to build up. This is what it looks like after it's seasoned. It gets black, that's what you want. And the best part is that it doesn't want to be cleaned very well, otherwise you'll mar the naturally nonstick lining. I've never quite understood how nonstick cookware got so popular, because not only have some research studies raised troubling questions about their potentially damaging health effects, possibly from the way that they can release chemicals into food or the air while cooking, but also they can be such a devil to clean, and their nonstick linings often start breaking down after a time, so that they need to be replaced more than my other pans. Between the extra time spent cleaning nonstick cookware, combined with having to use plastic utensils with them, and their potentially damaging health effects, and needing to be replaced more often, they're just too high maintenance for me. And I find some baking sheets with nonstick linings to be frustrating because they tend to bake my cookies unevenly. The darker nonstick finish tends to bake at a hotter temperature, so my cookies can either end up too underdone on top or overcooked on the bottom. So instead, I prefer to buy good quality heavyweight skillets and roasting pans and season them the old-fashioned way. Or alternately, I have some pans made of a hard anodized aluminum,
such as the cookware made by Calphalon, not the softer kind that can leach aluminum into food. These pans are more expensive, but I've had them since college and they should last a lifetime. Over time, they also develop a practically non-stick lining, as long as I don't scrub them too much or clean them with abrasive materials. The least expensive pans, which can also be seasoned in this way, are those made of cast iron without non-stick linings on them. Cast iron requires a little more work than do my other pans, though, to maintain the non-stick coatings. When I'm at home in Seattle or Paris, I love making roasted vegetables in these pans. I'll cut up potatoes, toss them with a small teaspoon of oil, then roast them in the oven. Then as soon as I take the vegetables out of the pan, I fill it with hot water, which loosens whatever might be stuck to it. Later I clean them with hot soapy water in a dish brush, or if something stronger is needed, a plastic scrubby.
For my needs, my natural nonstick cookware is practically perfect because it doesn't stress my health, and I always welcome any excuse to cut down on cleaning time. I've just learned that the Environmental Protection Agency has urged companies to eliminate a substance widely used in the manufacturing of nonstick linings by the year 2015. But even if companies come up with nonstick cookware that they say is safe, I'll continue using my natural nonstick pans, especially because when a chemical is banned, it's common practice for companies to skirt around the law by creating another chemical which is virtually identical to the one that was just banned, but they change a few minor ingredients so it's legally a different chemical and so escapes regulations. On the blog page of my website, in the April 2011 posts, you'll find a link to the best instructions I've found for seasoning pans using flaxseed oil, which creates an unusually hard finish.